Greetings, Commanders. This is Commander Atlas Rand, and today we are picking up where we left off in the last episode of the X4 Foundations training series. On the last episode, we finished up by making a couple of runs buying advanced satellites in one station for very little money, and then selling them in another station for almost double that amount, not quite. So as we pick up this episode, as we start this episode, to catch you up, what I've done is about an hour more of doing that exact same thing. I did a live stream. That was a little over an hour, but essentially during that live stream I did about an hour of the exact same thing we did at the end of the last episode, buying as many of the advanced satellites as we could, flying 2 jumps over, and then selling them, taking whatever money we had left, flying back, and buying them again. So what does an hour of doing that net you? Well, let me show you as soon as we land here. Or while we're even landing, I'll bring up the map. You can see in the upper left-hand corner we have 6,000 credits now. Wow, that's really bad. Did we lose a bunch of credits? Well, no, because we right now are about to sell the next load of those satellites. Now, buying and selling these satellites is not considered standard or official gameplay. Like, you're not going to get a mission to go buy and sell these satellites. It's perfectly fine. It's not a bug. It's not a exploit or anything like that. Buying for less, selling for more is a standard part of this gameplay. It's just that early in the game, the difference between prices in different stations are exaggerated. And so all we're doing is using that difference to be able to buy and sell. And you may have just noticed in the bottom left, but let me bring it up again here. We have 2.2 million credits after selling them. So what can we do here? Well, we just sold them, so we can click on this ship, go back to the station we were buying from, which is 2 jumps out. Right click on there, do an upgrade repair, go back in here. And how many can we buy for 2.2 million? Looks like about it's about 2.1. Looks like about 45 maybe. 2.3, yeah, that's a little too much. 2.2, yeah, 45 of them. We can buy 45 satellites. Go ahead and add that to our cart. Okay. And we're now going to fly back, buy 45 satellites. Remember, in this particular ship, we can carry up to 50 satellites. So we're almost maxed out. And then when we buy, we spent 2.2 million to buy the 45 satellites. When we sell them, we should be able to sell them for 3.7, 3.6, somewhere around there. And at that point, we need to make a decision, because right now, buying and selling these satellites is pretty good money, and it's money that is going up at a like the return on this, on doing this activity. It's the best word for it. And the return on this activity is a flat percentage, meaning you sell 1 satellite, you'll be able to buy 1.5 or 1.7 satellites from the amount of money that you have. You sell 10 satellites, you'll be able to buy 17. You sell 100 satellites, you'll be able to buy 230 or whatever it is. The point being is that it's a, or 170, I guess, satellites from 100. The point is, it's a way to multiply money. So you're doing the same amount of work, you're making 1 flight, but each flight you make, this two jump flight, each time you do it, it actually generates significantly more money because you're putting the profits back into the working assets here. So you're using the profits in order to be able to buy even more next time. So the decision that we need to make now, and I'm going to talk through the pros and cons of both choices of this decision, is do we buy a larger ship that can carry more satellites and then simply increase the amount of money that we're making from each run? Or do we say, okay, this is enough hauling things for a while, let's do some missions, let's do something else, let's buy a bigger ship? Because certainly with over 3 million in our bank account, we can afford a much bigger ship than we currently have. Though we can't really afford a military ship. Not because we don't have the money, but because in the game you need a higher standing with at least one faction to be able to buy military ships from them. So we're going to look at our options, make a decision, and then start focusing on standing. Because once you've got a few million in the bank, the next thing that's actually holding you back from progression isn't a lack of money, it's a lack of standing. Now, the other side benefit of this, of letting our pilot fly the ship rather than us flying the ship, is the pilot's getting experience flying. And the more experience the pilot gets, the better quality pilot it is, which means they're going to take shorter routes, their weapons are going to shoot more accurately, they're going to make fewer mistakes in general. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still just a 1-star pilot, so he's not getting that much better. but he was a half-star pilot when we started this. So he's getting a little bit better. Yeah, you are. You three-eyed alien thing. So, we're here. Now, let's take a look. We've picked up the cargo. Let's fly the ship back. So we're still going to need to sell it no matter what. And let's see how much money we're going to get for selling it. That's from 45 satellites. Reduce that completely to 0. We're going to end up with, okay, I thought it was 3.6, but it's 3.3 million. That's still actually, let me go back here. I'm just checking the price, because at some point this price of 73,000 is going to start going down as we sort of flood the market with these advanced satellites. But so far, not a problem. So we'll go ahead and sell them. Now, while it's flying, while the pilot is flying there, what we can do is take a look at our options. What can we buy if we wanted to continue hauling satellites and just making quick money initially? What kind of ship will we get? Well, it would have to be a medium ship because we're not allowed to buy large or extra large yet. Let's take a look. Who do we have the best standing with right now? 0, 0, 0. So we have +2, but +2 is basically the same as 0. There's no real advantage here. We have +5 from Teladi. So again, until we get to +10, they're basically all the same. Which means, let's go back to the map, that we just need to check pricing on ships at all three, or 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 of these, and see which one will sell us a medium-sized ship for the least amount of money. Let's start with Holy Vision. So let's say we do a buy ship. We're going to go for a medium-sized ship. So the military ships, it's not going to sell us. It's only going to allow us to buy these non-military ships. So we have a gas miner that we can do. And let me just check something here. Yes, it can hold 100 of these satellites. So even though its actual purpose is mining gas, like hydrogen or nitrogen or oxygen or something, it's actually capable of hauling these satellites. I like the way these look. These are probably some of my absolute favorite mining ships. Whether it's a mineral one like this with a mining turret up front, or whether it's a gas one like this. I like the shape of these. I think they look great. They're also quite fast. So if we let's say we put in the most basic engine, just the Mark 1 all-arounds, 292, 3067. For this one, if we do the mineral with the same engine, 292, 3060. So same thing. Doesn't matter whether it's mineral or gas. If we do a pure transport ship with the same engine, a little slower, 158, 16, 68, but obviously much bigger cargo capacity. And if we do the Hermes, so a little bit less cargo, but should be a little bit faster, and that's exactly what we see here. Now, if we could stick in a Mark III engine in there, I mean, that increases the speed of all of these ships. For sure. So, so this one is 700,000. Well, let's do just a real basic configuration of this. Don't even need a docking computer technically. Just put in the things that it requires you to put in, and one captain. We have 800,000. Now, I don't have a C rating, so I'm going to save this as a C, which means it's got the absolute minimal loadout that is technically still doable. Like, it'll still do the job. So I'm going to save that as a C. Just remember, 800,000 basically. Now we're going to go back from here. So this was Holy Vision. We're going to check that cost of a similar ship here. We're going to do buy ships, medium, mining ship, go to the C layout, and so it's basic engine, basic all around, basic. Okay, this has a 2 shield. Let's just put a 1 shield on there. You know, we didn't even put a mining drill on there, so that 800 is probably going to be higher. And then a couple of mining lasers on the sides, just so it does mining faster. Although we could put some pulse lasers on here and actually use those for defense. That might be smarter in this case. A little bit slower to mine, but more able to shoot if anyone attacks it. And turn that off. All the basic stuff is on. Let's take that off. And 1 captain and let's say no crew. And that is 548. Wow, that is really cheap. Why was that one so expensive? I'm gonna have to go back to that one and take a look, because this is significantly cheaper as a very basic model. Also, it's telling me it doesn't quite have the parts to build it right now. So this is a Plutus Mineral. Okay, good to know. And this one is a little bit slower at 336, 35, 38. If I go back here again, I just want to get a apples to apples comparison very quickly. Select the mineral version. Did I not save I thought I saved. Oh, maybe I saved the gas version. Yeah, I probably saved the gas version. Let's do the mineral version. Basic engine, basic thrusters, basic shield. And let's do the mining drill Mark II. And here let's do pulse lasers. And just the required things, nothing else other than that. We're going to need the training computer. Nothing in here. And just the captain. Actually, you know, in these ships, in mining ships, you actually want a crew, because the higher your crew number, you want a full crew of 8, it's going to actually mine faster. Now, we're not going to be using it for mining initially. We're just buying it to haul the advanced satellites back and forth. But once we're done doing that, we will use it for mining, so it might as well be configured. So let me again save this as C. Save new. Okay. So we're getting 628 with a full crew, with the pulse. So defensive guns and a Mark II mining drill up front. And I'm going to actually switch this to the highest quality shield, which is a PAR Mark II shield. And these are just basic for both of them, okay? So let's update that, save it again as a C, overwrite 681, and it's a little slower. So it's doing just under 300, just over 3,000. That one was doing 35 or 350 and 3,500. The other one that we looked at, but this one seems to have more cargo capacity. I think it's 11,000 storage. Sorry, my memory is horrible, so I'm going to have to go back here one more time and go to medium, but I think we've saved everything. So this is the mineral version C. So basic, good quality shield. Mark II, yep. These we're going to put the pulse, not the mining. Yeah, we're going to take out docking computer for now. We're going to zero this out for now. And then a full crew. And that is 691. So it's basically the same price. The trade-off is this one's a little quicker. 336, 3,500. But this one's got 9,000. The other one has 11,000 for total capacity. And I'm sure that's why there's a difference in speed, right? Because it's the same engine that's going to be on both of them. The one that's a little heavier, that carries more cargo, is going to fly just a little bit slower. This is where I want to point out a website, guys. There are links that I'm including in the description of this video to a number of websites that have tools for this game, for X4. One of those websites is a comparison tool that simulates either delivery ships or mining ships. And it uses formulas to calculate what is the most efficient. Like, for example, between these two ships, is it more efficient to fly a little bit faster at 3,500 meters per second travel speed, but only carry 9,000 load? Or is it faster to fly at 3,000 travel speed, so 500 meters slower, but carry 11,500? So if you use the comparison tool that is linked in the description, it'll be able to answer that for you, and I'm going to actually do that myself right now. I'm going to bring up that, find where the comparison tool is. Yeah, there we go. Hauling efficiency is the tab. And let me see if I can show you guys what that looks like. There we go. Let me just blow it up as large as I can. So that's the website you're going to be looking at right there. So it is qsna.eu/x4/efficiency. And the link is in the description. But in here, if we select medium ships, these are not trading. These are going to be solid mining ships of the medium size. And we give it some parameters like how many highway miles. Let's say there's only 10% highway miles. And it's going to fly 3 gates, let's say. And the engines on this thing are Paranid on both of these ships, in fact. Then what is the fastest ship? And it tells you the travel time, and all the way to the right is the score, which is based on cubic meters per second is what it used to calculate. And you can see that they're all fairly close, but there's one that is definitely higher. It's 36. The next one after it is 31, then 31, then 31. So which one is 36 here? That 36 is the Mineral Sentinel Holy Order of the Pontifex that has the 11,520. So that is the fastest one, which is not the one we're looking at. So we're going to close this up. This is the Holy Vision, which is the Holy Order of the Pontifex. We're going to do buy ship. Medium. I'm going to hide this window. And it is that one right there for 11,520. Yep, 11,520. So that is rated as the fastest in meters per second ship. Very cool. So we already have a loadout. It's called C. So that's what we started with. It's 676,000, which is very reasonable. It's totally affordable for us. You can shrink this down so it doesn't take as much space, or open it up so you can see all the parameters. And now that we have the basic configuration, the question is, do we want to upgrade anything? So if we go from Mark 1 to a Mark 2 engine, speed bumps up, and more importantly, the travel speed goes up even higher. It goes from 3,000 to 3,600. That's a pretty good boost in speed. So let's go with that. Going to the Mark III gives us again about a similar boost. It takes us to 4,100, but the price is 365,000. The price for this was 73,000. So 73,000 seems to be like the better deal here. And then let's take a look here. This really has to do with maneuverability. From Mark 1 to Mark 2, it's 3 degrees per second difference in turning. This certainly makes a difference, but not a huge difference. So certainly we don't want to go to a Mark III on this. Let's go to a Mark II as well. Shields, we already have shields on Mark II. Guns, well, mining drill, also Mark II. Turrets, the only one we can buy is a Mark I pulse for defense, or just add more mining guns. I'm going to go with the defensive guns right here. And then I'm going to add a Mark II docking computer, I think. I'm going to add that to it. And then, of course, the big thing we're going to want is how many advanced satellites can we do. But this is not the place to buy them. They're for 66,000 here, and we were buying them at 45,000. So we're not going to add any of those here. So one last thing to review. Yeah, this all looks fine. Our total price is 822,000. And what we're going to do is add to shopping list. It tells me there's some missing resources. What this basically means is that the ship isn't going to pop out instantly. It'll have to, there'll be a slight delay between when we order the ship and when it actually is ready for us. So we'll go ahead and confirm. So that'll take 800,000 out of our stash here, which is all right, because while the ship is being built, we can do one more run with the money that's left to buy them from here. So let's go ahead and click on our current ship again. Right click on here, upgrade, go here. How many can we buy for 2.5 million? So it's about 2 million, 2.2 million, 2.4 million. We can buy 49, it looks like. Perfect. So confirm order. Our pilot will automatically take off and load up those 49 advanced satellites. While he's doing that, I also want to check the price on ships here. If we go to medium, Okay, these are just transporters, so we can't buy any mining ships. The reason I wanted to buy a mining ship was twofold, guys. Number one is mining ships are actually faster than transporters in their speed, which means you can do more of these trades per minute or per hour. I think I did about 8 or 9 per hour, and so you might be able to do even more with a fast ship. The other reason was because when we're done doing this, when the prices start equalizing more, the difference in prices isn't as great as it is right now, then we'll be able to simply reuse the mining ship for what its intended purpose is, which is mining, and start making money doing mining, which is something that we would normally start doing right now anyway. Even if we weren't doing this little trade route of buying and selling satellites, even if we were just moving on to the next part of the game literally is, let's buy some mining ships and put them to work. Now, some people will do trade instead of mining. They will buy cheap, find some place to resell that's more expensive. I tend to like to do mining for one simple reason, and that is the mining is trade. It is exactly like normal trade, with one difference. Whatever you mined, you paid 0 credits for. So it's like trading for something that you paid 0, and now you're able to sell it for X, whatever X is, whatever amount of money X is going to be. So it is fairly lucrative in early game when you don't have a big wallet full of cash to do mining, because doing mining allows you to essentially make money from nothing. You're doing an activity that is resulting in you having a full cargo load of something and then being able to convert that to credits. Now, one other thing I want to mention here, and don't worry about this if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, but I mentioned that you need to focus on also building your oh, now great, I'm having a blank. I'm blanking out. Building your standing with different factions. Like, how well do they like you, essentially? One of the activities to do that is to be sitting next to a station waiting until some ship turns red. When you shoot that ship, as you saw in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, you get a little bit of money, not much, 500 credits, which is puny, but our standing went up by 1 for every ship that we shot. Now, it only goes up by 1 initially when you're at 0 or you're at a negative score. Then every ship you shoot bumps your standing by 1. But as your standing climbs to +5, then it's going to take more than 1 ship to increase your standing beyond that. And it's going to take more and more and more with each standing higher than about 5 or so. So what do we do to increase standing? Wow, that's an interesting way to park. Look at this. Wow. Maybe the pilot really is getting better. Just knows how to turn and land at the same time. All right, so we picked up this load. We can go ahead and sell it again. Repair satellites, unload all 49 of them at 74,000. Yeah, that's a great price. So that'll generate us 3.6 million. And this is 3.6 million after we just spent 800,000 on buying the new ship. By the way, let's see if the new ship is ready. So there it is. But what we need to do is actually see if it's ready. And to do that, yeah, it is ready, because it would have been... you can see it's right there, the Plutus mineral. That's the one we're in. This is the new one we just bought. If it wouldn't have been ready, it would have given me a percentage of construction. It would have said, like, Plutus mineral settlement, blah, 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 26%. And that would be how complete that ship is. And since there's no percentage number, that means it's ready, it's complete. So we can click on it here, or we can click on it there, and we can send it to the location where we're buying the satellites for cheap. And we can send it again directly by doing upgrade to where we can select the satellites. Now, one thing you'll notice is the price gone up. So we were buying these at 44,000 a piece. Now they're up to 51,000. So now that they've gone up a little bit here, it's probably a good idea to check how much they are everywhere else. So I'm going to again select that ship, click in a different dock, do an upgrade there, go to the little star. Okay, it's 71 there, so that's pretty pricey.
Entering Trinity 3.
How much is it here? Here it is 41,000. Look at that. We can buy the satellites for 41,000 here. I'd say that's a pretty good deal given that we started buying it for 46.
System, right promise.
So we don't have any money yet because we haven't sold the last batch of satellites. So let's just go back to the map and wait until the current ship lands.
Entering system, Profit Center Alpha.
Mm-hmm. There he is, just landing. We can look at, see when he's actually landed and sold them. Now, if you want to be bothering with doing all this satellite stuff, either it's just too repetitive, or you kind of feel like, well, this isn't really what I wanted to do in the game. I wanted to go shoot stuff. I wanted to do missions. That's totally fine. I'm just showing you that this is something you can do. In this game, there are no time limits for most things, and you're free to do any activity in any order. And so if you don't want to do what I'm doing right now, what I'm showing is an easy way to make money. That's totally okay. You don't have to do that. You can do missions. You can go off and just try and fight some bad guys that are in red. There are a few locations in the map where I guarantee you if you fly there, you'll see guys in red. But for people that want to have a little more financial stability before they start getting too deep into missions, like they want to have ships that they know for sure aren't going to get killed because they're bigger than what is even necessary. I'd rather fly in with an overkill than fly in with a ship that is underpowered. That's my general rule, but I get it. Not everybody plays the same way. Why are you coming out of this building, dude? You should be flying back in there and docking. You're just wasting time right now.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted.
So I started talking about getting standing. You get standing, you get a standing increase every time that you do a trade deal. Now, what we're doing right now is technically not a trade deal because we're buying not a commodity, but we're buying ship supplies. So that doesn't count as a trade, unfortunately. So we're not getting any standing just flying back and forth like this. The pilot is still increasing its skill set, but we're not getting standing with any factions. So to start getting standing, what we're going to need is exactly what we just bought, which is, this is a cool looking ship. We're going to need what we just bought, which is mining ships. Mining ships are the early game easiest way to get standing up to 10 and even over 10 if you just leave them mining. The thing is, to get standing in the game, it counts every time you fly in to make a sale or a purchase as an event that bumps up standing. It doesn't care if you're taking a little tiny ship like the one I'm looking at right now, and you're using that to make a trade of 10 units of something, or if you're taking a giant mining ship like the one we bought, and you're selling 11,000 ore. Both of those sales will be considered exactly the same for standing purposes. Which means what? Well, aren't you actually better off selling small amounts of mined material, of ore or gas, to a station and doing it more frequently because you sell a little bit, you fly back, you mine for a little bit, you fill up, you fly back and sell it over and over and over. Absolutely, that is the case. So, ironically, if you want to make money, you want the biggest mining ship you can get. If you want to increase standing, you're going to make less money per hour, but you're going to increase standing a lot faster if you use nothing but small ships. So, that's something that you have to make a choice about. Do you want to make money or do you want to get standing? You will still make some money, don't get me wrong. It's just not going to be as much as you could make with a larger mining ship. Now, towards middle of the game, end of the game, you're not going to want to use any small mining ships. You're going to want to use the biggest ships that you can afford to fly. And if for no other reason than simply because big ships are harder to kill and the bad guys are going to be attacking your ships. If it's a small ship, they'll actually blow it up. If it's a big ship, your ship will probably get away. If it's a medium ship like the one we bought, you know, your odds are 50-50. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, enough talking, more doing. So now we are going to, I should have just had it fly there prematurely. Oh, well. We're going to buy from here. This is the cheapest place that we found. We're going to select the ship. We're going to buy as many satellites as we can. Go here. Go to advanced. We've got, what, 3.6 million? So we could do probably more than that. We could do 3.6. We could do 87 satellites. Maybe 88. 88. 55. Yeah. Nope. Maybe even 89. Come on. 89. 3.67. 3. No. 88. We could do 88 satellites. Now, you can see I'm dragging this thing back and forth. You could also click on where it says 82 and just type 87. And that works as well. Then hit enter. So we'll do 87 satellites. Add to shopping. Confirm order. So it will automatically fly from there because it's got a captain. It's got a pilot. Fly all the way up to Bright Promise. And the cool thing here is Bright Promise is actually only one jump from here. So it'll be able to go back and forth faster. Now, as it's flying there, what does it actually mean for us? Well, you know, our ship is now free to do missions because we've got a second ship that's going to be flying. So let's take a look at our missions. Remember, it's the check mark, exclamation mark, that is a list of all our missions we accepted. Just the check mark shows you us any potential new missions. So here's one: repair Tel Nostrip oil factory data leaks. This mission is interesting because it's easier to do, but you have to get out of your ship. You can't do this mission without getting out of your ship. Let me show you how to do it. So we'll accept it.
I knew I could count on you.
We're going to have to fix 3 data leaks. Now, there's a difference between fixing a data leak and reading a data leak. I didn't realize this until I played the game a few times and I kept failing these missions because I kept thinking, what am I doing wrong here? So let's take over
Sentinel.
this guy. We'll undock. And we'll fly to the location where it wants me to fix them. So the difference is reading data leaks is just flying up to them, either in the ship or in a spacesuit, and then having your scanner on and then listening to what the scanner says. Fixing the data leaks is similar to that, but it's flying out with your repair tool and then shooting the repair tool at
Autopilot engaged.
each of the data leaks. So I'll show you how that goes. We'll fly out to the location. Now, I will say, if you just don't care about the mission, if you just want to get whatever the data leaks have, you could just sort of, you know, screw off the mission and just do the normal scanning of the data leaks, but then
Autopilot disengaged.
you will absolutely fail the mission and you may end up, I don't know, which is why I'm saying you may end up actually losing some standing with the company. But we're going to do it by the book. It's telling us the first one is right there. Oh, we can shoot that guy too.
Tour bus B.
And he's a criminal. Yep. And we missed. Okay, we're not going to chase him. He got lucky. So here's the data leak. You don't want to get too close because you're going to do this in a spacesuit. So you want to get up.
Nodem. Sentinel.
And also, Option D is a shortcut for getting up out of the chair. Use spacesuit. And now we're flying. Now, you fly the spacesuit just like you do a ship, except it's always in no assist mode. So it won't stop. It'll keep drifting in the direction you're going. So you can see I'm flying through this. I'm going to change the tool that I've got selected. So this is my gun.
Primary weapon
That's
group
the repair
2
tool.
selected.
So I want to start flying towards this, and I want to not be... So this normally is your scan mode.
Activated.
You don't want to be in scan mode when you're doing this. You just want to be in normal mode. And you want to use the repair tool on this. You want to fly closer. Keep shooting the repair tool. Damn it.
Engine stopped.
Engine stopped. Okay, am I not doing this right? I could have sworn this is what it wanted me. There we go. Yes, I repaired one. Okay, so I was shooting the little red glowy thing. I guess you were supposed to shoot the actual thing that's connecting to the station. So we'll do the correct way on the next one. Now, where's my ship? Did my ship fly away? That can happen, by the way. Yeah, I'm right here. That's the other ship. Where's the ship that I flew here in? Thank you. Click on there, go to here. Oh yeah, no, it is here. Yeah, it's right next to me. Okay. So I flew
Engine
away from it, I
stopped.
guess. So there it is. Okay. Sometimes, if you're not careful, you may program a direction into your ship, get out of it, and it'll just fly back to wherever you told it to fly back to. So
Docking permission granted.
there I am. Just kind of fly up next to it, and it'll put you in the teleporter.
Nodem.
So let's
Sentinel.
fly to the... Come on, seat. Let's kill this
Tour
thing.
bus B.
That's a criminal. Let's get nice and close. Okay, kill it. Pick up stuff that it dropped. Hopefully nothing
Container
criminal.
magnet activated.
Yeah, nothing criminal.
Container
Good.
magnet deactivated.
And let's find where is the next spot that it wants me to check. Okay, over there. So again, don't
Scan
be in
mode
this mode.
activated.
Be in the normal mode. Unlike all other times you're at a station, you're not here to scan. You're here to fix. Fly close to it, but not too close because you don't want to accidentally trigger it. I'm getting out on top of my ship, so I'm going to be a little bit below it. I'm going to hit Control D to get out of my seat. Walk to the teleporter.
Thanks for your help.
Click on there. Use spacesuit. Double click on that. Okay, apparently we get out from underneath, not from above. So my mistake on that. Now we're going to once again fly here. We've got the repair tool already selected.
Scan mode
We don't
activated.
have scan mode. We're in normal mode. If you're in scan mode and you happen to get close to this thing, it's probably going to get scanned and then you will fail the mission. All right, so now let's stop
Engine stopped.
flight, and let's target the actual portion that's touching the... There we go. So that did it. So that's number 2. We got one more. There I am. Fly back to the ship. and that we were from underneath the ship, so that's where I'm going to fly back to. It is kind of an ugly looking ship, but it's just got so much hull. It's really good for
Engine
that.
stopped.
And it's pretty quick. It does fly rather quickly. All right, get close to it, and then hit the
Docking permission
docking
granted.
permission. I'll give you something else that you may run into. You may hit
Engine
docking
stop.
permission,
Docking aborted.
and it's not giving it to you. Like if I select the station, for
Tour
example,
bus,
right,
B.
or tour bus, and then I fly back here, and then I push give me docking permission.
Docking is not possible.
It says
Docking
no
is not
docking for your
possible.
ship size,
Docking
and it's
is not
saying that
possible.
because you're
Engine
still
stopped.
targeting that other thing. So you want to actually select and target
Mass no
this
then.
thing,
Sentinel.
your ship. Once you've targeted your
Docking
ship,
permission
then you can
granted.
select docking, and it will allow you to dock with it. And again, you come out right here in the teleporter. Let's fly to the next one. And you just double click on a seat to get into the seat. And sometimes I'm too fast. I'm actually faster than the animation for it. Let's fly to the last one that we're going to fix. Technically speaking, by the way, actually scanning these data leaks is illegal. So if you do it while there's a policeman next to you, you'll get caught and he'll want to kill you. Most of the time, there's no police next to you and you're okay doing it 99% of the time. No one's going to notice. But just know that technically speaking, it is illegal. So get out of here, walk back to our transporter,
Noden. Sentinel.
select our space suit. Make sure that we've got the repair tool selected. We do.
Scan
Don't
mode
be in
activated.
scan mode, just be in the regular mode. I'm hitting the turbo to fly there faster. Now remember, I also upgraded my suit to a Mark II suit that allows me to fly a little faster. If you haven't upgraded your suit, you're going to be flying slower. And then shoot the repair beam right at this thing. There we go. That's the last one. That should complete the mission. And I think it did. Now, why am I doing a mission that only
Engine
pays
stopped.
30,000? Well, look at our standing now. It is now +7. So we went from +5 to +7 by doing this one mission. That's pretty good. Remember, +10 is where we need to get to before we're allowed to buy military
Engine
ships.
stopped.
All right, let's go up here.
Docking permission granted.
All right. And let's drive again. Now, we bought, before we go anywhere, we need to control the other ships. So we bought all those, but we didn't sell them. Now we're going to fly here. We're going to sell all of these for 74,000 that we bought. So remember, we spent about 3.6 million, 3.5 million. We sell them all. We get 6.6 million. That's not too shabby, right? So this is our, what, third hour in the game? Fourth hour in the game? Yeah, third, I think. Third or fourth. And you're already making 6 million per turn, not per hour, guys. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's see what else we have for missions. And we seem to be doing pretty good with these guys, with the Talati. Let's see if do we have any other missions from them or for them? Let's just double check this again. So we're +7 with Talati. That's correct. That's why I want to double check. So looking here, TEL. Do we have anything from TEL? No, we don't. That's weird. We want to get more missions from them so we can get to 10 with them as quickly as possible. Well, you know what? Let's go do this mission. So this is a mission that you may have already done if you're watching this, because this pops up pretty early. This pops up the first time you scan a data leak, you will get this mission. So this is a mission to go fly and meet with Bozo Ta. We're going to set it to active. There we go. And he is an overly enthusiastic, pretty cute little cartoon-like character who is one of these octopus race guys. They're not actually octopus, but they kind of look like octopus.
Engaged.
And they're definitely aquatic. And he sees himself as the greatest scientific mind in the galaxy. But he's also very innocent and very, like he actually believes the stuff he says. You know what I mean? So let's go visit him. We've got a mission to do that. And he will start us on some science-related missions. And doing those missions unlocks a whole bunch of abilities. So this would be sort of like going to your magic mission giver if you were playing a mythical MMO,
Entering
like
system.
Mythic Quest.
Silent witness.
But of course here it's not magic, it's all science. And sometimes he's got somewhat strange requests to have you do things. Other times what he asks for is actually very straightforward and makes total sense. One of these days I'm going to slow down and actually read the advertisements. They just zip by way too fast. Yeah, I think we go right here. Yep, we do. So let me show you the map, show you where we are. We are in Hatikva's Choice. Hatikva's Choice has the notoriety of being one of the most... it's not the most dangerous, it's the biggest battleground fairly early on in the game. Okay, we just jumped out of there into this system. So this is another new system we've never been to that we've now added. Now you can see Hatikva's Choice is part of the systems that are along the highway. This one isn't. So this one is now we're starting to get a little further away from the highway. Looks like ARG Spice Farm is here. ARG is the Argons. And that's Argon in the game is what I am in terms of genetics. It's basically the first group of humans to leave Earth, where the Terrans are the humans that stayed on Earth, and it's the Earth political power, I guess, where the Argons are the humans that now live in space and have been for many generations.
Entering system. Heretics.
Okay,
End.
so this is the system we're going into. Heretics End. We've got a Ska Majid Dust Factory. So this is a drug lab, essentially. SCA is a pirate group. They are a pirate faction.
Attention! Denizens of Heretics End. Please evacuate the designated area immediately.
So Buzzetai's telling people to evacuate for some reason. Why is he telling people to evacuate? Where is he?
What's going on? Sir, we are picking up an unusually
Uh-oh.
high energy signature.
Seems like a Terran.
Whoa.
Autopilot.
Let's not bounce off the rocks here. Okay.
It's me! It worked! I made the jump! Ha-ha! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Excuse me, traveler. Did you hear the Alliance broadcast? I wonder, would you be interested in collaborating with one of the greatest scientific minds of our time?
Guy refers to himself as the greatest scientific mind of our time.
As far as I am aware, I am the only more on this side of the network schism. I am currently in the market for some personal assistance. Should you be interested, please do come for a face-to-face chat.
So he just teleported this whole rock over here, apparently. So it's basically like a station built around around an asteroid. And where exactly do I dock here? It's somewhere around here. There it is. Okay. Yeah. I guess I should have just noticed where the yellow arrow is pointing to. So this station that we're landing at, assuming you accept his mission, which of course we will actually become our home base. And that's where, and he's going to be the guy that gives us all our training missions. So let's go ahead and dock.
Docking rent.
Ooh, there we go. Perfect landing.
Successfully docked.
Welcome aboard the mystery installation. I do apologize for the mess. I only recently escaped my split captors.
Get up.
Can you believe they forced me to develop weapons? Anyway, I have not yet had sufficient opportunity to undertake much housekeeping. Best not to dwell on the past. All is well now. The
Follow the
installation
yellow
seems
little
vaguely
brick
familiar
line
to
here.
our origin, but it is certainly
Science
no
laboratory.
sensation. It is equipped with uncommonly advanced
You can listen to
research
him
facilities.
in more detail when you
Frankly,
play this.
I am rather longing to
He's
lose
just
myself in the
talking
lab
about how
and focus
great
only
he
on
is.
science. This brings me to a business matter. I require someone to oversee this installation. Is equipped for habitation of all races, and this room seems to be some sort of research area.
I expect I could spend years poring over the data contained in these systems. Hello there! Yes, I have already made some progress. There appears to be several things we can research at this facility. Please take a look.
All right. So he told you to take a look.
Hello there!
Yeah, you can't click on them again. To take a look at the research menu. Now, where's the research menu? Well, if we go back to our... by the way, now that we're here, he basically hired you. Now you can actually go anywhere in this station. And including personal office, which is now your office, or my office in this case. So this is the office you get once you start this mission. Got a little desk here. You can sit in a chair. You can look at your net worth. 7 million. Look at that. Oh, nice. That reminds me, while we're looking at my net worth, let's make another run, huh? So we sold all those. Let's go back here and buy the next batch. Price went up to 47. That's as expected. We'll go ahead and get 100 of them for 4.7 million because we've got 6.5 million. We'll go ahead and add to shopping list and confirm. There we go. And then we don't have to worry about it. It'll take care of doing that purchase on its own. So you can get up here, go to ship. One interesting thing that you have here, I'll point out, is this machine, which is a safe deposit storage. You can click on that, and you can see here it says inventory on one side and storage on the other. So you can store any of the things that you've picked up that you're carrying, you can store here. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, in case you're bringing some illegal stuff with you. And you could also do like everything. You do and deposit all or retrieve all. But let's say that I'm carrying... Let's say that unstable crystal is illegal. I don't think it actually is, but let's say it is. You could just move that here, hit confirm, and then it's going to be in your vault. It's not going to be on your person. So if the police do stop you, you're not going to get in trouble, but you still have it, and you can come back and grab it anytime. But you do have to be here physically. Let's go back to our ship. In fact, actually, let's go over here. So we're going to walk down here. You could also take the teleporter directly there, or you can walk there the way that I'm walking. This, if you remember, is a trader.
Can I help?
Show me your wares. So he sells all of this stuff. He sells steaks. Or no, he doesn't. We have steaks, but he doesn't have any. Sells needles, sedatives, bomb launchers. Now, we can buy a bomb launcher, or we could just make it from parts that we collect. I don't think we have enough parts to make it yet, so we're not going to bother, but you could theoretically just buy the bomb launcher directly from him. Also, basic seminar and 1-star seminar. So I always like to buy these because I typically, whenever I hire a new pilot, I like to give them, whether a pilot or a manager, I like to give them the appropriate seminars to get them ranked up quicker. And then here's some other miscellaneous stuff that he's selling. I'm not going to buy any of it, but could if you really wanted to.
Good profit to you.
Yes, good profit to you. Let's see if we can make anything. Nope, not yet. So none of our ingredients are sufficient for making anything yet. And you pick up most of these ingredients when you kill enemy ships and you turn on your magnet. That's generally the fastest way for picking things up. And it's essentially engineering materials in Elite Dangerous speak. All right, let's go back to my ship. Now we hit M. Let's see, where's our... I'm sure we've picked up the... Yes, our money is down, so we've picked up those satellites. We can fly back here and sell them. What's the current price? It's still 74, still a good price. Or no, we haven't... Have we bought them or didn't we? Hold up. I thought we bought them already. Did we not buy them? Go here. Go here. Go. Okay, it's still in the process of buying. It's got the little wrench symbol there. So remember, as soon as the wrench disappears, then that update to the ship, even though it's really a purchase, but it's considering it a update or a tweaking of the ship. Oh, I know why it's taking so long. Yeah, remember it said it didn't have sufficient ingredients? So it's waiting for those ingredients before it finishes this order. That's fine. We're not in any rush to do this. So we'll do it later. So
Odin,
I'm just going to
Sentinel.
get back aboard the ship, get back into the pilot seat, hit the undock button. And I really want to get to a high level with Teladi pretty quickly here, since I already have a +7 with them. Now, Teladi are these yellow guys. These guys are Holy Order of the Pyramid, HOP. These guys are the PAR, the Pyramid Empire or something like that. Pyramid something something. These yellow guys are Teladi. So what we want to probably do is just fly to one of these or multiple of these stations and then just see if there are some new missions that pop up. Let's just start off by flying over here like that. Oh, and then here's what popped open after the last mission we just finished is this tab, the beaker. So we click on that for science. This is where we do research.
There is much to do. I personally find mention of this teleportation irresistible, but I leave it up to you to decide what we research first.
Yeah,
Please note,
so
these research items have certain requirements.
we can do teleportation research, we can
Some Terran
do
technology was
chassis upgrades. This is your engineering upgrade
to
unlocked.
help us develop effective
So
engine
weapons,
modifications.
shields,
We
engines,
must
and
be sure
chassis.
to have the best in
And there are
antimatter
3
sensor
levels
technology.
of
You may
unlocks
expect the
for
best to
the
come from the
engineering.
scientific world,
So
but
first you
no,
need to unlock them,
it
which
was the
again is
racing
fairly
leagues who
similar to
pushed
what you
the
have in
sensors
Elite.
to new heights.
Then when it's unlocked, then you're allowed to go to the workbench and actually upgrade if you have the right components. So you still need the components, but before you can even start to upgrade, you have to unlock them. So at the very least, we're going to have to unlock these 4 basic ones.
Capabilities of a ship,
But
we must first be able to
what's
tear
the
it
most
apart,
important here? Is
put
it
it together.
teleportation,
For that,
engineering
you will need
unlocks?
nanotechnology.
No. It's actually these 5 right here. And these are hacks. Dock module hack, production hack, storage hack. What do these hacks actually do? Well, all right, grab a drink real quick here, guys. Okay. So, what these items in the middle are: dock module hack, production module hack, storage module hack. All these hacks.
This will allow you to gain blueprints by scanning leaks on certain modules.
There you go. I had Bozo tell you himself. So these hacks allow you to scan a data leak, which by now you know what those are. And when you scan a data leak, it will give you, for free, the blueprint to the module on which the data leak was that you scanned. So like last time we scanned the data leak on a residential module. So what we would need to do is unlock habitation module hacks.
To gain blueprints by scanning leaks on certain modules.
Right? If we unlock this thing, and we go back to a apartment building or a whatever type of habitation on a station, and I want to be clear here. This doesn't work on the data leaks that you find. This only works on data leaks that you cause. And how do you cause a data leak? Well, that involves us getting an EMP gun and then shooting an EMP gun at a module of a station. And then flying over in the spacesuit. You can't do it in the ship. You have to do it in the spacesuit. Then going and scanning that data leak that you created. So that's the tricky bit. And again, when I started playing, I didn't know that. I assumed that I should be able to just scan the automatic data leaks, and I was confused why I wasn't getting any blueprints. And I did it over and over and over and never got any blueprints. And then finally I watched a video or read something that basically said, oh, and after you shoot your EMP gun, then you go over and one of the 4 data leaks that's created from that blast should have your blueprint. And sure enough, that's exactly what works. So at some point, probably not today, not in today's episode, but maybe tomorrow's episode, or the next episode, whenever that is, we'll have an opportunity to actually create an EMP gun. And you do that by doing a mission for the pirates that we already started doing. One of their missions it teaches you how to make an EMP gun. And then shooting that gun off on a station, which then creates data leaks, and then it'll actually create 4 every time you shoot it. And then scanning those 4, 1 out of those 4 will be the blueprint. It'll always be a blueprint, but only for the type of blueprint that you've unlocked. So we have dock module hacks that we need to unlock, production module hacks. This one has the biggest number of things that it unlocks, by the way, production modules. Storage module hacks. And then when these 3 are done, then you can unlock defense module hacks and habitation module hacks. You will need to unlock all 5 of these. And this saves you a tremendous amount of money that blueprints cost. Like habitation module blueprints are in the tens of millions of dollars. Some of the production ones, some of them are cheap, some of them like $1 million, $1.5 million, but some of these are like 10 million for a production module. Storage modules are all under 1 million, so all 3 sizes of storage modules are under 1 million. So these, frankly, you could buy if you have sufficient money. It's not a big deal. You don't have to scan these. Dock modules, these are not particularly expensive. I think they're a couple of million, but still, there's multiple docks, and you might as well scan them instead of paying the several million for them. Defense, definitely you're going to want to scan these. You could buy. There's really only 2 that are really good. The rest of them are mediocre, so you could skip buying these. But the habitation ones, you want to scan. The cost of buying them is very, very high. And to get habitation, well, you got to do all 3 of these anyway. And if you do all 3s anyway, then I guess the order I would do these in would be dock modules probably. Well, you could do them in any order because all 3 of these are useful. The storage is useful, the dock module is useful, the production is useful. But the one with the highest cost is going to be production. The second highest cost is going to be dock, and then the lowest cost will be the storage modules. So you could potentially do this one last. So start with production, then do dock, then storage, then habitation, and then finally defense. Or you could do defense and then habitation, but either way, you will want to do habitation for sure, because those modules are super expensive. Once you've done all 5 of these, then I would do teleportation. Because teleportation lets you go from ship to ship without having to go there on foot. The first level of teleportation lets you jump. It says limited range. And that limited range is just one in the same system. So you could jump from a ship in one system to a ship in the same system. This teleportation, 3 systems. So you can jump from a ship in one system and then go over 2 more systems and then jump directly to a ship in that system. Next one takes it to 5, and then the last one lets you jump from anywhere to anywhere on the whole map. You still can only jump to a ship or a station with a rating of, I believe it's over 25, and that'll take you quite a while to get there. So just don't worry about jumping to stations. But essentially the 4th one lets you jump from any ship to any ship that you own. How important are these? They're not that important. They're probably less important than these. Maybe this one I would do. So I would do all 5 of the middle ones. Let's start with this one. We'll go ahead and hit start research. It wants more container storage in order to do it. Okay, well, how about... Fine, let's cancel that. Can we do this one without more container storage? No. Okay. So I need to do more. I need to buy, or maybe I already have some containers. So I need to increase container storage just to start doing these. How about this one? No. Okay. They're all going to require more container storage no matter what. That's fine. So let me start with the one that's the most useful, probably that one, the middle one. But before this even starts, I need to upgrade my storage on this station and do all 5 of these, then probably do the first teleportation, then do the 4 basics here, then do, and these 5 are all done by that point, then do the second teleportation, do the second 4 here, then do the third teleportation here, then do these 3, and finally do the last teleportation. And to do these, it's going to want money. Quite a bit of money, in fact, because it's going to be buying...
Game saved.
Okay, game saved. Good. It's going to be buying all these materials. They don't come for free. Now, you can bring these materials yourself. You can go find the cheapest place they're available and then fly them back and bring them back to the station. That's a cheaper way to do it. It just takes more of your actual gameplay time. If you just set up buy orders for them all, NPCs will start bringing them, but you're going to be paying kind of premium prices for the NPCs to do them. But the first thing we need to do before any of this is to add more, as it told us, add more storage modules to the station. To do that, you go down here into this little icon on the right top. I forget what that thing's called. It's for like drawing circles or measuring distances on paper. A compass, I guess is what it's called. So this is showing us the station that we're currently on. The only thing on here is this right here, which is a standard dock. So we need to add storage facilities. So let's see what we have. We have a small storage container. So what we're going to do is temporarily add a small. The reason I say temporarily is because we're going to get a large before too long, and then just stick with doing larges. But we'll go ahead and slap that small one on there. That'll add 50,000 meters. In fact, we're going to add 2 of them like that. That'll add 100,000 meters, cubic meters of storage, of container storage. And there's 3 types of storage: liquid/gas storage, container storage like this, and then also solid material, which is like asteroids. So right now we're just adding 2 small container storage. Then you hit confirm on the right side here. Then you have to assign or hire a builder. You click that. and then zoom out. And once you zoom out sufficiently enough, it'll show you the builders on the top left that are available. There's only one currently available that it found. As more of the map gets displayed, this list of available builders gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But basically, there's one we can pick from, so that's the one we're going to use. Right-click on it, and then left-click select. Now we have a builder coming. Next thing, open up resources needed. And, oh, you know what? We're going to change this. So, see here, it says use global setting. It says universal. We're going to click on this and do a closed loop. Closed loop uses fewer parts to build things, so we're always going to use closed loop. We're actually going to change our global settings to be closed loop before too long. And now you can see this is what it's going to take to build out the 2 storage bins. This many Claytronics, this many energy cells, this much hull. And then we go in here, scroll all the way down, and click accept estimate, and it'll tell you how much it's going to cost to get those if NPCs bring them. Hit accept, and that's it. You don't need to do anything beyond accept. It just takes that much money out of your account and sets it aside for buying materials. And then close menu, and it'll sort of happen by itself, automatically. Now, I think we're already up in the air here, right? Yeah. All right, so let's fly up here. We can now leave this place because we've started the building process, and nothing is going to happen until that building is complete. And I'm sure by now, well, let's find out if by now our ship has what's going on here? Okay, so why are you here? What was I going to check? I don't remember what I was going to check with this ship. Why I decided to dock in that factory. Don't remember, but let's go ahead and sell these that we purchased. So upgrade, repair again. Go back here, sell all the advanced satellites for 74. Bought them for 44. So we're going to make 7.4 million. Now, out of that 7.4, we did use about 3 million to buy them. Confirm. So now we're sitting at, or once this flies back and sells them, we will be sitting at, oh, I know why I flew there. Yeah, I shouldn't have flown there. I wanted to fly the ship that we are in back there because I want to start scanning for more missions. So I just flew the wrong ship there. I was talking too much probably. So let's go ahead and select this thing, and then we're gonna click on the empty part of the sky first to kind of clear out any settings. Gonna right click on this station, and we're gonna do a start guidance to object. Now we're gonna close the map and then hit autopilot. And this will take the ship we're in to that station, and what we're gonna try and do is find more missions for Teladi, because that's the guys we're currently at 7 with. That's who we're the closest to getting up to 10 with. And getting up to 10 or standing with a particular faction unlocks access to more ships and more weaponry from that faction. Alright, so hopefully I didn't bore you guys with the conversation about science, but now that we've unlocked science, it's kind of important to always have some science research running. And now that I've kind of explained the order and the logic behind why I think that's the best order to do these things in, it makes sense. Now, some people might say, well, if you can get engineering on your ship, isn't that going to make your ship much better? So why don't you do that first? Well, I'll tell you why. Right now we're flying in a small ship. We're flying in one of the best small ships, but it's still a small ship that pretty much any medium ship, if it goes head to head, is going to kill. So no, I don't need to do engineering on a small ship. Even on the medium ship, I may not want to do engineering, or at least not much engineering, because medium ships also tend to die quite a bit. And unlike Elite Dangerous, when you lose a ship in this game, there is no buy it back for insurance plus 10%. You lose a ship, you lose a ship. You're going to pay full price to get that ship back. There is no insurance mechanic here. And so if you're going to be losing ships, and you will absolutely lose small ships and medium ships, then putting engineering in there is kind of a one-way street, because then you're going to lose the engineering and all the parts that went into the engineering every time you lose a ship. So generally what I recommend is
Silent witness.
only upgrade engineering on medium ships, like the 1 or 2 medium ships that you're always flying. Don't do engineering on any of the other medium ships that you have NPC captains flying. For large ships, you could do more engineering on more large ships, including ones that NPCs fly, but it's not... I don't blanket recommend you do that either. On extra large ships, or on like expensive destroyer ships, absolutely engineer those, because losing that is expensive, and engineering may be the only thing that prevents you from losing that ship.
Autopilot disengaged.
So generally only 2 or 3 of my ships that are medium will have had engineering. Okay, there we go. Let's kill this guy. This should boost our standing.
Transporter F.
There we go. Grab the materials he dropped
Container magnet activated.
for our engineering. Hopefully nothing illegal. Yep, nothing illegal.
Container
Good.
magnet deactivated.
Now I've mapped my magnet to a switch so it stays on. By default, it's only a momentary press button. So that's what you guys are going to see, is that you have to press and hold the button for the magnet to work. I kind of found that to be annoying, so I actually
Container
mapped it to a
magnet
joystick
activated.
switch so that I can flip a
magnet
switch
deactivated.
on or off to have magnets running. Okay, so are we at this station, or what's the deal here?
Thank you.
I guess we flew here. Oh, and I wanted to scan for...
Scan mode activated.
Oh, look at that. We have a data leak. Let's creep up on it so we can scan it. Commission unlocked. Water shortage offered by Lottie Medical Supply. Okay, well that's not a mission, but it's a... You know, it gives us a discount.
Scan mode deactivated.
Oops. Let me go into the map. Take a look here. Yeah, no new missions. So we're looking for more missions from any of these guys, the yellow guys. So let's just fly around here and see if there's any more data leaks. With our sensors running, so we're scanning this whole station while we're flying around. What do y'all think of this architecture style, by the way? There's going to be like 5 or 6 different architecture styles in the game. This is one of them. This is for the Teladi Empire, or Teladi Corporation, whatever they are. What is this thing? This is medical supplies. This is a medical supply factory. And once we unlock scanning of factories, then you would just fly up here, shoot the EMP, get out of the vehicle, fly over to it, scan the data leaks, and then you'll have the blueprint for this building. And you got to do that for every building you want to get. However, there are a few buildings that you cannot get the blueprints from. And we'll cover those later in videos as you for sure have the skills to do that. But like, here's a blueprint that we could potentially get once we unlock it for storage containers, right? So this is like a small size storage container, I believe. Let's find out. Teladi S container, yep. So this is a storage container size small. I generally only get the large size, and then only get it the medium and small if I get them accidentally. So the large ones are worth even just buying. The smaller ones, not so much. So we're at about an hour and a half in this episode, so we've been going for quite a while. But let me just show you one last thing here, if I can. Let me see where the Teladi main their agent is, their main agent. Let me see if we've found where they are yet or not. Yeah, we have. They're right here. So right there, the Min Teladi equipment dock. You see that little symbol of a person in the crown? So that's the agent. So let's actually, while we're here, let's fly that ship to buy the next batch of satellites. See, the price is up to 52 now. So we'll do one more purchase of 100 at 52. Add. It's missing some ingredients, so yes, we know it'll take longer. That's fine. Confirm order. So it'll buy another 100 that we'll sell later. And then let's ourselves fly here to this station. Close that. Hopefully I'm not overloading you guys with data. I'm trying to parse this out into like 1 hour episodes, a little over an hour maybe. But also there is a lot to learn about this game to really get enough information to where you're enjoying playing the game and you're taking advantage of everything in it, and you're not just hitting your head against the wall by making mistakes that you don't realize they're mistakes. Because frankly, I did all of that, and it probably took me over 100 hours to figure out some basic things in the game before I stopped making those mistakes and to actually start really enjoying playing the game and taking advantage of all the tools that are built into the game. And this really does have a lot of tools. A lot of people complain that Elite has too many external tools, not enough internal. This game is got a lot of internal tools. There's a lot of things that you can look up and do research on and even do a ship comparison, all without leaving the game, all internally. So I'll just come in on manual flight here. So you can see this dock can support large ships as well. And in fact, large ships are over there. These are extra large ship docks. And this, where we're flying to between them, is the small and medium ship dock.
Docking granted.
All right, so we'll just go ahead and dock here.
Successfully
All right.
docked.
We're going to get up.
Welcome.
We're going to get out. There's no yellow line, but I know where we're going. You get in here and you want to go to the Representative's Office, Ministry of Finance. So this, in any faction, is what you call the main dude that you can buy like blueprints from.
Greetings.
Show me your blueprints. So there's a very limit, like we can't, oh, I guess we can buy some weapon blueprints. Oh yeah, very few. The rest of these we're not allowed to buy yet. But what we're after isn't weapon blueprints, it's module blueprints. And it is storage blueprints. Where are those? Do we even have these? No, they're not even showing up here. Okay, weird. So at some point, the blueprints for storage modules will show up in here. And then we would be able to come in here and buy the storage module blueprints. But like you can see, the dock, 1 dock pier, 2 million, 3 dock pier, 4 million, 3 dock T pier, 3.9 million. These are not cheap. Drone component production, 9 million. Now some of these, like missile components, 259,000. Super cheap. Not a problem at all. Conservation, conservatory observation deck, those are cheap. wide area sensor array. So there's definitely some cheaper blueprints here, but we don't have full access to blueprints, not by a long shot, because we have still a fairly low standing.
Goodbye.
We have a decently high standing, but not high enough with these guys. So we'll go ahead and wait, but you can also see why hacking blueprints by scanning the actual building is actually a preferable way to do it, because it's essentially free. You do use up an EMP bomb, but the actual blueprint itself is going to be free. So let's go in here. All right, and then
Node
we'll
M,
get back in the
Sentinel.
ship. And unfortunately did not see the blueprints that I was hoping we could buy, which is all right. Well, the main reason we flew out here is to really try and get more missions from. But I think here I'm going to wrap it up for today's video. Like I said, it's already an hour and a half, so it's longer than the previous ones. And we did cover like 2 or 3 complicated concepts. So I will leave it right there. And catch you guys on the next one.